This is GJRB.
Now, GJRB brings you way out there. This is the show that talks about the weird, the bizarre, the unusual. From UFOs to paranormal to near-death experiences to government conspiracies. This is the place to listen to for the truth. And if you have any bizarre happenings that happen to you, or would like to talk about the weird, the bizarre, the unusual, you can call Gary right now. Area code 563-613-4260. And tell us what you see way out there. Now, here's Gary Russell.
And hello everyone, hello everywhere, across America.
World War II ended, and the Egyptians came out.
Okay, do not want that yet, do not want that yet. Yeah, do not want that yet. I was not ready for that just yet. Okay, here we go. Hello everyone, hello everywhere, across America and around the world. Welcome to Way Out There, the show that talks about the strange, the unusual, the bizarre, the things that go bump in the night. We have a great show lined up for you today. How you doing, everyone? Haven't been on the air live for quite a while, and of course, we're on the GJRB sporadic schedule, which means that a lot of times we're not on the air for a short period of time. We might not be broadcasting right away. Some days we are on the air, and then some days we're not, and so that's the case here. But anyway, welcome aboard. We got a great program lined up for you here on Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker, and got to tell you, we got a interesting show lined up. Don't make no difference, but I usually put that up. Okay, for some reason that's interesting. Before I turned the microphone on, I had to push that microphone up. It's weird. I don't know. The mixer system. It's just a trip. Anyway, welcome to the show. Glad you could be aboard with me today. Got a great show lined up for you. We got a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to get to it. First off, though, I want to talk about this whole thing with Trump and Russia. That's kind of getting old already. You know it? I mean, so far, we have a president that is pretty much acting guilty. He is not really not acting right. I just think he's not acting the way he's supposed to, and he's not. I don't know. He is not. I don't know if he's not rightly defending himself, or what. But it seems like it. It seems like that he's kind of he's defending his son. He's backing his son right off the bat, and he's not acting like he's not guilty. This is just an interesting thing all the way around, and it's not to wonder. O.J. Simpson, you hear about that? He's on parole. O.J. Simpson's on parole. I wonder how long that's going to last. All he's got to do is do something really, really benign and stupid, and he's back on he's back behind bars. So you're going to have to wonder about that one. That is something that is going to be kind of surfacing here real soon as to why he's acting the way is in behind bars. He's been doing things that guys do, if you know what I mean. And he did in front of a female guard at that prison. And I don't know. You have to wonder about old OJ. I don't know if he's going to go end up back behind bars or what. But he's sure headed that direction again if he keeps up there. But I got to tell you, I really don't know what this man's going to do now that he's out of prison. I really don't know, what he's, he can't go back into acting per se. He doesn't really have any, being an ex-football star, being an actor for some time, which he really didn't. He couldn't act his way out of a hat, folks. I'm telling you what. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what he does when he gets out of prison. That's going to be interesting. But we're going to see. All right, tell you what else we got coming. Hey, I have a real good show lined up for you today, including AI. You know what that is? Artificial intelligence. Got an interview coming up on this show from Lauren Weinstein. It's an interview on Coast to Coast in which she talks about how artificial intelligence could take over man's job. Well, my father used to warn me about that. Somehow he knew. Robots, artificial intelligence, they have robots that look like human beings. I mean, they look, they act, they even sound like human beings. You can carry a conversation on with these people. I'm serious. Robots. We'll talk about that. It's going to be fascinating. Also coming up, we're going to talk about Atlantis. That's an interesting subject. I've always been fascinated in Atlantis. It was a lost continent, and no one knows exactly what happened at the end of Atlantis. No one really knows what was the deal there, what happened in Atlantis. And we're going to have a segment here with a guy talking about this. Let's see here. Where is that segment here? I have it, and I had it set up and printed. So let me see if I can find it. His name was something Doyle. Let's see if I have it here. Oh, here we are. No, I printed it. Yeah, Lauren Weinstein. The other one was David Brody. He was on a recent Coast to Coast show talking about this and saying that they had advanced civilization about 12,000 years ago in the Atlantic, disappeared quite suddenly, and according to Plato, they had a cataclysmic event, and the Atlantean civilization about 11,600 years ago, and we're gonna play an interview from Coast to Coast, and it's a real good interview, and it talks a lot about Atlantis, and that's coming up here. You want to check that out. It's gonna be fabulous. We got a great show lined up. Also, strange but true, and I got a good one here. I got some real good strange but true coming up. Two-headed porpoise found in the Netherlands. Yeah, two-headed porpoise. And the story that I've got to play for now, I aborted one story for this because this is odd. A friend of mine sent me this on Facebook, and it's odd. In Indonesia, in a place called Toraja, they found what was A woman that actually walked out of her grave. This is a woman that was presumed dead. And I don't know if I believe this, because see, this is a ritual. And they said a ritual, according to this article, and I think they're playing with demonic forces here. Okay, they're playing with demonic forces here. So I'm stating here that this is a story that I would say rebuke in Jesus' name, because no one comes back from the dead. But this is an interesting story in Indonesia. Now, they're saying that this is probably a product of someone who has what is known as leprosy, which they can debunk that. And whatever the case may be. So we'll have something on it. It's going to be fabulous. And finally, a strange UFO was photographed in Canada. You got to see this thing. It looks like some kind of flying green thing. Round-shaped circular thing. This is weird. I saw this picture, and as a matter of fact, join me Monday when I do my YouTube show at 2 o'clock Central Time. So subscribe to YouTube, and subscribe to the Gary Russin, that's GJRB TV YouTube channel, and you'll see this. It looks like a green type of flying object, and they saw this in Canada. And I'm going to picture it. It's really weird. So subscribe to the GJRB TV YouTube channel, and you'll have a chance to see this, because it is bizarre. I'm not kidding. It really is. It's strange. So I'm going to talk about that coming up. Plus a whole lot more stuff coming up on Way Out There. The strange, the bizarre, the unusual, right here on GJRB. But first, we're going to take a look at the news. See what's going on around the news here today, and give you some interesting news stories. And we're going to do that right now. So let's take a look at the news. Well, stones are being thrown directly at Israeli police. 5 officers were injured. This is late breaking as of about a half hour ago. Security measures are now being continued. This is in Jerusalem right now. They're throwing rocks and fireworks. And 5 officers were injured. So we're going to take prayers out for that. And let's see. News publishers are not too happy. Apparently, according to Campbell Brown, the head of partnership for Facebook, wants to start a subscription service for news. The news publishers, the antitrust exemption. The Congress is in order to negotiate a group which will platform such as Facebook and Google. Facebook announced the subscription-based news featuring will begin testing sometime in October. So I don't know if I'm going to get my news free here when I do this program, because I get a lot of my news from Facebook. I really don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to keep an eye on this come October, because I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be able. I'm going to have to find ways of getting my news other than from Facebook. According to this story, the partnership at Facebook said that the feature would be built around Facebook's instant articles, and which it'll it's going to have a exaggerate. I don't know. It's going to have a content, multiple publishers, and some kind of a paywall, whatever that means. Digital Publishing Innovation Summit. Brown discussed the Facebook's new plan, saying that one of the things we've heard in our initial meetings from many newspapers and digital publishers is that we want the subscription product. We want to be able to see a paywall on Facebook, according to what Facebook should continue to say. This is, I don't know, quoting somebody here. Anyway, and it's going to be coming up soon, so I'm going to be wondering about this. I'm sure I can still get my news off Facebook, but I'm going to have to try other sources. So, wonder what's going to happen there. And, I don't know. We'll find out here. I really don't know what's going to come about from this. Basically, probably will be where I will have to look around and see if I can find freer ways to do or to get my news So I'm going to have to work a lot harder in getting my news out. That is true. On the obits, well, that goes back to Sunday. We lost George Romero. He was the father of zombie films. George A. Romero died at the, and he was fabulous. He was the one who did Night of the Living Dead, a classic 1968 movie. And to me, it's a home movie because I'm from Pittsburgh. So this is kind of a home movie to me. George A. Romero, he is from Pittsburgh. He's a director. He's a 1968 cult. He died at the age of 77. He died at the age of 77. And he died in his sleep. He was battling lung cancer. And according to a statement from his producer partner, Peter Grunwald, LA Times, Romero's family confirmed the death to the Times as well. He did a 1978 sequel, Dawn of the Dead, which was filmed at Monroeville Mall. Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead. Day of the Dead was 1985. I think my sister Colleen was in that one as a zombie. Land of the Dead, 2005. Diary of the Dead, 2007. And Survival of the Dead, 2009. And I think he also did that other movie. But he did tons of zombie movies. So, he would have really been interested in this thing going on in Indonesia. But anyway, Night of the Living Dead was his pet project. Black and white movie. And of course, it starred the recent death of Bill Cardille, which I'm sure he knew very well. So I'm sure they're conversating up there right now. That's for sure. Yeah, so dead at the age of 77, George A. Romero. So say goodbye to that. And then Martin Landau died at 89. Best known roles, and you know what? I'm kind of disappointed in people who are, I don't know, just science fiction always seems to get the shaft here. He did a show in the 70s in syndication called Space 1999. It was a great series. It lasted, I don't know, maybe a few years. It was on the air in my freshman year in high school. Great series. And he's never recognized for it. And during this whole biography, when they were talking about him dying, this goes to WGN, Carl Amari, which sometimes I like to say, Carl, come on, Space 1999. The other one was, of course, his starring role where he won an Academy Award, and that was the motion picture, what was that one he did? Ed Wood. Excellent movie. I think he played Bela Lugosi. Great film. If you have a chance to check that movie out, check it out. It's a great movie. Great movie. I'll tell you what, while we get underway, we got some stuff to do. I got weather in the news coming up. So we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back. I got more of Way Out There coming up next on GJRB.
It was the year World War II ended, and the troops came home, and the music was fabulous, with hits from Perry Como, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. The year was 1945. Listen to the year in music on the next Swing Time. I'm Gary Rustin, and I'll be featuring the biggest hits from that year, along with trivial information about the prices of items such as groceries, the news events, the culture of 1945 on the next Swing Time.
Published on the GJRB Spreaker Public site Friday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Central.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J's sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J's sports page. Join me for Sports Page at a brand new time, alternating Saturdays at noon on GJRB. America's Street Music is back on GJRB, Bluegrass with the Grass Goals, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle, with all the great songs you heard before, and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too.
At a brand new time, every third Saturday at 12 noon Central on GJRB. Okay, we're back on Way Out There here on GJRB, online on Spreaker, across America and around the world. Hope you're enjoying the show wherever you're listening. Wherever you are, you're listening in America. And glad you could be a part of the show. Oh, I'm glad just doing this show because I have a lot of fun talking to you people. I have a great time. And I always have a good time talking about what's going on in the news and what's going on in sports and weather. So I love it. So thank you so much for tuning in to Way Out There today here on GJRB. Tell you what we're going to do right now, though. I'm going to do something I call In the News. And this is where I talk about what's going on in weather in the news, talk about what weather's happening in the news. And I have an interesting story, as a matter of fact, about how hot it's been. Increasing heat. As a matter of fact, they're looking at the outlook for August. And August is not looking any better, folks. They're looking at... now, it's been relatively cold here. We've had some relatively cold temperatures, but lately it's been hot. And every day we've been having storms. As a matter of fact, we had one last night, but it really didn't reach us. We had thunderstorm, we had thunder around us, but there was nothing going on. It's like real weird. We had the sirens go off in this area. We had our sirens going off, and yet there was nothing. It was like really oddball. It was like really weird. And the local station here, which usually covers our news, did not, they were not carrying anything. They were not doing anything about it. They were not covering stories the way they're supposed to, And wow, it's like, come on, really? I mean, there's sirens going off, and yet you're running Jimmy Kimmel. Where's the coverage? And I was kind of really getting ticked off there because, come on now. I mean, wow. But anyway, they're saying that California is going to be under, could get a lot of moisture in California, a lot of moisture. And they're saying that we're going to get a lot of hot days in the southeast. Just quoting the article because I didn't really get it up in time. I will kind of talk about that later on then because I just didn't get to pull that article up. So I will bring it up to you on the next segment later on. But it's really, really interesting because they couldn't be right. And, is this global warming like they're saying? Is this what that liberal what's-his-face is, I just don't think I want to prove these liberals right in this stuff, I mean, really. This whole bit with global warming and all this stuff is just, it's supposed to happen in the, end times, bad storms, maybe excessive heat, excessive cold, whatever the case may be, to have this. And now I believe that the Bible says, not what Al Gore says about all this heat and this, global warming stuff. I mean, come on. Anyway, we'll talk about that coming up. But right now we're headed into weather on the fives. Weather on the fives. We got that coming up. And then we're going to take a break, come back, and then we're going to do Strange But True. So I hope you'll stay with me. This is Way Out There on GJRB Online on Spreaker on a Friday afternoon. Hope you're having a great time, and I hope you're enjoying the show. And let's take a look at weather on the fives right now, real close. Severe rounds of severe thunderstorms are possible from the northern plains, the upper Midwest, to the Great Lakes through today. Damaging winds, large hail, and flooding could be a primary threat to these storms. Excessive grip right now eating the central plains, and heat indicates approaching 105 to 110. Very hot and humid conditions are likely to expand to the mid-Atlantic states. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. We're going to keep an eye on the forecast for you, because here in this area we're expecting some severe weather too later on tonight, and I'll keep tabs on that for you so that you'd be informed. But we're supposed to get some severe weather tonight, and I will again look at that weather for you a little later on, locally as well as nationally on GJRB.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russell program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russell program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russell program on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
And you're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Coming up in our next half hour, got a lot of good stuff lined up for you. We're going to be talking about strange stuff on Strange But True. Also got coming up in the next half hour, we're going to be talking about, in the next hour, got coming up is part 2 in that series on strange animals, strange stuff going on in Pennsylvania, my home area. They're seeing winged creatures and Bigfoot and whatever. There's a crew, I think, down there actually searching for Bigfoot. And I don't know exactly what come out of that, but apparently they are looking for that. Speaking of Bigfoot, they have a story going on in Texas about a Bigfoot sighting, but it's a hoax on purpose. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. I'm Gary J. Russ, and hope you're enjoying the program. Coming up, we have more on Way Out There. But right now, let's hear what's going on in the news here on the GJRB News update. Again, there's Israeli police getting thrown stones and fireworks. They're getting thrown directly at them. And 5 officers were injured, and right now safety measures are being taken. Facebook says they're antitrust. They want to have a pay service for news on Facebook. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, rumors of wars as about North Korea, and we'll have that story. It looks like there's a travel ban going on right now with North Korea. We'll have these stories and more coming up next on GJRB.
I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I did the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
If you're a new emerging artist and want your songs out there, the place to go is Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation, a website totally devoted to new music from new artists from every town and every state in the U.S. If you're a solo artist and recording your own music, it's Reverb Nation. Stop on by, visit, listen to the music. Check out the site, www.reverbnation.com. Put your music out there and gain an audience. Go to Reverb Nation for the best in new music. And remember, if you like your songs played on GJRB Online's Up and Coming, drop me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com. And I'll be playing your song on all GJRB online shows. Remember the name, Reverb Nation.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J's sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J's sports page.
Join me for Sports Page at a brand new time, alternating Saturdays at noon on GJRB. You never know when GJRB is going to be on the air. More programming, more often, on the internet, on GJRB.
You're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online. If you'd like to talk to Gary, pick up the phone right now and dial area code 613-4260 or on Skype at Gary.Russin. If you don't want to get on the radio, you can contact Gary via the chat room on the GJRB public site by clicking the comic book icon on the GJRB widget. And now, back to Way Out There on GJRB.
Yeah, that Apollo 100 and Joy. Love that piece of music. I said I was a kid. Love that piece of music. I'm Gary J. Russell. Welcome back to Way Out There. Show that talks about the unusual, the strange, the stuff that you just can't explain for whatever reason. I mean, whatever reason. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to put it all together. That's just how it goes, man. We got it all right here on GJRB Online on Spreaker, and I'm glad you can be with me today and Friday afternoon, and we're going to be on the air today, but tomorrow we are not scheduled to broadcast. No on air tomorrow. We will not be on the air tomorrow, but we will be back on the air, but we will not be here on Monday. Monday we are going to be on YouTube. Yeah, we're going to be on YouTube, and we're going to be doing a show there. Yep, we got a show going on YouTube on Monday. It's going to be a live feed, and you'll get to see all the stuff we were talking about on the radio, like that strange alien object I was talking about a while back, and we got it coming up on our Strange But True, a really unusual alien. I can't explain it, folks. It is the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my whole life. It looks like a green flying saucer is what it looks like. It's got like a flying crown or something. Can't explain it. It's really bizarre. And I'm going to show it to you coming up. Also, that lady that in Indonesia, which I got coming up from the grave. We got a picture, not really coming out of the grave, but they show pictures of these people who are supposedly zombies. And it is really freaky looking, so be prepared. If you don't want your kids to see it, get them out of the room or away from the computer, because this is bizarre, to say the least. I mean, it is. I have never seen anything like this. And, I mean, it does remind me of something out of Night of the Living Dead. It's really, really, really scary thing. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It is bizarre. And anyway, you're going to have to check it out for yourself. It is really something else. So we're going to have that coming up as we do Strange But True here on GJRB Online. Strange stories of the bizarre and the unusual. Yeah, got them here on Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Yeah, so got it coming up here. Excuse me. My throat's acting up today for some reason. I don't know, that's strange. Anyway, that is how that goes. But here it is. This is a two-headed porpoise. I'm not kidding you. This is weird. I am not kidding you. This is out of the realm of the strange here. Yeah, this is really unusual. I've never seen anything like this. A two-headed porpoise. A group of fishermen in the Netherlands made a historic catch, and they said they pulled out this thing. Very remarkable creature, rare in itself, underestimated. I don't know what it was. Jaw-dropping porpoise, and it was the 10th known case in partial twinning. Seen in the Cadishans. Now, it's a porpoise, two heads on it. I'll show it to you on Monday on our TV show, on our Spreaker, I'll show it to you on Monday on my YouTube show. I'll show it to you on Monday on the YouTube show. It's really, really interesting. Ironically, the marine biologist laminated this thing, made the decision. They had to throw it back because I guess there's a law against keeping something like that. The animal was already dead. They said that the animal was caught by a crew, was near dead or already dead, because this couldn't survive with something like that. But they took a picture before they threw it back in. They had to throw it back because I think there's a law that says that, and I'm looking at it here, that it said it probably passed away shortly after it was born. So it was just after its birth. A unique specimen. And I guess there's a law, and I'm looking for it now. I guess it could be a law. It's against the law for keeping jaw-dropping porpoises, which could be, against the law. They can't keep it. Okay? They can't keep it. It's against the law. So they had to throw the porpoise back in the water. But they took a picture of it, and it is bizarre, folks. I ain't kidding you. I never seen anything like this. I mean, this is really strange. And, wow. I ain't kidding, though. We'll get into more of that. But 3 minutes left, and I'm going to be taking a break here pretty soon. But when I get back, I'm going to be talking about the zombie woman. Okay, we're going to talk about that. It's really bizarre. And Toraja, Indonesia. And a friend of mine, and a friend of GJRB on Spreaker here, Rachel Ozzy Jarvis actually sent me the post first. And then I caught onto it, and a few other people have already seen the post. And quite imagine, I mean, for all sake and purposes, to see this thing is the most, you got to see this. I mean, I'm going to show it to you on Monday's show, because it is weird. Absolutely strange. So we're going to get into that coming up here on Way Out There on GJRB Online. Then coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk about Western Pennsylvania's haunted and eerie creatures, Part 2. And really strange stuff there. I mean, no kidding. I mean, it's some really, it's a really oddball story. So we're going to have that coming up here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. I know, and then coming up a little later on, I'm going to open up the line so you can talk to me. So, if we have callers, I'm going to probably postpone these stories, but we're going to put them on. I postpone them so that we can talk to you. I just do these stories because I really don't get any calls at all, and rarely any listeners. So I'm just kind of happy when I do get a listener. And whether I get a call in on the show or not, I just go on the air. Even if I don't have much listeners, I go on the air because I'm used to that, okay? Because I had a weak radio station when I was a kid, so I'm kind of used to, not having really any listeners at all, just to be honest with you on this, okay? So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more coming up, so I hope you'll stay with me throughout the afternoon. This is Way Out There on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Across America and around the world, we'll be right back with more of the strange stuff that goes bump in the night on Way Out There on GJRB.
Tune in to the jazz comes this fall on GJRB Online. If you get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming, and programming and other great music genres, like blues, urban, including rap, also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA, listen, and enjoy.